Cold email is finally dying. Cold email is done. And in this video, I want to break down why cold email is done and what you should be doing instead, okay? That's what this video is all about. So first and foremost, you're probably thinking, who the hell am I? So my name is Dan James, and I scaled a content agency before, to around 30 to 40K a month, utilizing these strategies that I'm going to outline today. And I didn't use cold email once in order to do that. I was able to sign absolutely massive dream whale clients just with these strategies. Now, before we get into the strategies itself, I want to talk about the state of cold email. So if you've sent any semblance of cold emails, you will know this, okay? AI has made it basically the most accessible thing imaginable right now. Anybody can scrape a list of 100,000 plus leads off of Apollo or any other database for that matter, and then they can send so many emails and so many follow-ups, and Claude can even automate the follow-ups, etc. AI is attacking this entire process, which is decreasing the barriers to entry, and the cost is going down as well, which means people flood the market. I do not even have a big personal brand, like I really don't, but I receive 4 emails a week, not even 4, 6 to 8 emails a week from people outreaching to me with not very good offers. So I can only imagine the amount of emails that a massive Dreamworld client's receiving. It must be disgusting. So the thing is that Instantly themselves were even, I don't know, frankly I think this is dumb, but they even released information, about the average cold email reply rate. And the average cold email reply rate that they released was 4%, okay? That's not but cool. That's not even a positive reply. That's just a reply of 4%. And frankly, I think it's far worse than that, okay? So cold email is actually being completely and utterly squeezed as machines are taking over, okay? And that's why, frankly, I'm just not a massive fan of it anymore. So what we need to do is we need to go the complete opposite route in order to sign massive clients and just sign clients in general. So let's think about the contrast for a second, okay? We've got everybody going automated, sending tons and tons and tons of emails to a list, okay? That's what they're all doing, all right? But you can't do that because you're at the mercy of who responds, number 1. You also are struggling to get a reply, number 2. And number 3, you have no competitive advantage. Every other schmuck and idiot can do it. Like, there's nothing stopping anyone from scraping a list and then doing outreach immediately. Especially when you can just say Claude Code, link with Clay, and go sort this out for me. Or just all do it on auto. So instead, what you have to do, you have to go 1 by 1, or even 2 by 2, or 3 by 3, nice and slow, and get each dream world client and get each dream prospect that you want. You'll get far better results doing that. It's actually funny. This comes to mind. One of my favorite rappers, or like when I was a kid, Ludacris, used to say, everybody wants to run down and get 1 cow. I'd rather walk down and get them all. And honestly, like, you actually can do that, okay? And that's pivotal. So these are some of the strategies that I've employed, and I want to be able to go over them and give you some source. So the first one that I've employed is a super Loom. Now, this is a Netflix level movie outreach. Very simply, what you do is you create something for the prospect that's so absurdly beautiful that it literally is, it's a highly produced, excellent piece of content. Now, you're prospecting in the video, but you are having great effects. You're having a storyline, you're having hooks, you're having a lot of fun with it. And I've done this around, like, at the time of the recording, I've done this like 25 times, and I've booked something like 22 meetings and I've closed like 16 of them. So it's an absurdly high, it's an absurdly successful form of outreach. And I love it in particular because you can basically, you can essentially close anyone with it or book a meeting with anyone with it. Now, these are some of the cons of the outreach, and I'll give you cons of each form of outreach. Number 1, this does require this does require quite a lot of skill when it comes to video making, content creation, etc. If you aren't good at making content, then you're not going to be able to do this. Like it's just going to come across poorly. I'm a content guy. I've got one camera here. I've got one camera there. I love my video stuff, which is why it works well for me. And it increases the barriers to entry. But if you don't have those skills, then you're going to have to learn those requisite skills. It's really as simple as that. I very commonly get the question, oh, how long does it take you to edit this? How long does it take you? How long does it take you? And I even got this question today from some gentleman on LinkedIn called David. Shout out to David. And I was saying to him, it's like learning a language, or it's like speaking a language. If you're fluent in Italian, it'll take you 20 minutes to make an essay. But if you don't speak a word of Italian like me, then it's going to take you 4 weeks to write a good essay. Does that make sense? Cool. So that's my favorite, and that's my baby, and I've utilized this to sign so many dream world clients. Okay, but the reason why the super looms work in particular is because you're leading with your attention. You're doing something that's going to grab people's attention, and there's nothing more attention grabbing than a piece of content for one person, if that makes sense. Amazing. The next thing is physical goods. So this includes sending a physical product to the world prospect. So the example that I love to use is if somebody loves F1, you could send them an F1 life-size model, for example. And then you could put in the car, I hope you love this as much as we'd love to work with you. Like they're going to be like, wow, like that's amazing. That's incredible, if that makes sense. So it's a tactic that I've utilized so many times, and it always books the meetings, because people never receive anything in the mail, let alone from a prospect, like from somebody prospecting to them. They're gonna be like, what? So that's why I love that tactic in particular. The next one that I've utilized a ton is detailed strategies. Now, detailed strategies is the easiest to do, and AI actually can do all of it. But I've booked hundreds of meetings with people, and frankly, I've booked meetings with people that I had no business booking meetings with. Like I remember, like one of my first ever sales calls was with this massive swanky CEO. I won't say his name for confidentiality. And I remember I was on the call and I was thinking, why is this man even on the phone with me? I shouldn't even be here. But this works because you're essentially outlining in full how you want to help their business, and people love that. It doesn't actually even require that much skill. You can get this set up. In like 1 week and have it be incredible in like 2. So this is a strategy that is brilliant. And the pros of this is that it's very, very easy to set up, and the cons of this is that because it's easy to set up, the barrier to entry can be far lower. And then last but certainly not least is fun stunts. Now, full transparency, I've never actually done this myself, to be honest with you, but I know that it would work because I've seen startups do it. And this is essentially doing something in person that goes above and beyond. So, for example, one startup, they flew a plane over a convention. That comes with a lot of health and safety, so you have to make sure you're good there. Another startup like sent pizzas there, like that's like almost comes in the physical goods books. But the key point of this is that you're doing something very, very crazy that grabs attention. The funny thing is with 75% of these methods, bar the strategy doc, is that you're leading with attention instead of expertise. The game really is attention. Like we live in an attention economy. So whether it's a form of outreach, a form of content, ads, etc., you need to be able to get the prospect's attention. We're all fighting for attention, and that's really the game here. And I know that for some of you guys, it will be difficult to immediately implement some of these strategies, but all we have to do is just work one by one. You have to do it for every single prospect. Just pick one person you'd love to work with, and slowly and surely just create something incredible and send it to them. And I guarantee you'll be able to get a shit ton of responses. Now, all that being said, if you want to learn these strategies in even more depth, I actually taught 300 plus people how to do this with my boy Daniel Fazio. So the link to that video is right here. Watch that if you want to have an even deeper understanding, and I'll see you for that video. Bye now.